Now that Monster Hunter World is considered completed in that Capcom is no longer developing the game, all of the previously limited time events that provided opportunities to get fantastically cool stuff, including really fun collab pieces, very strong equipment, and a more efficient means to gather difficult to get components. As these are now always permanently available, scrolling through the events list is going to be pretty overwhelming. In an effort to help reduce that overwhelm a little bit, I've been highlighting particularly good events that you should absolutely cover in roundup videos and individual video spotlights. These range from early game all the way over to mid to late game, so definitely check some of these out if you haven't done so yet. My name's Light It Up Dan, and on this channel we cover action RPGs, roguelikes, and MMOs to name a few. I've been having loads of fun making Monster Hunter World content and Grand Blue Fantasy Relink content, and with that said, let's get to it. A Chilling Entrance is a 5-star MR20 event, pitting you up against a Black Veil Valhazak and a Velkhana, both very tough, strong Elder Dragons, for a super sexy Rarity 12 head armor that is this anime red dragon cloth thing, with 2 level 4 decoration slots. For Val, you're going to really want to have the 3 Effluvia resist if you can manage it. This is going to help massively with your survivability and to just help manage the fight flow, so you're not constantly trying to back up, use a nullberry to get rid of it so you can get back into the fight. I strongly recommend having the 3 Effluvia resist for this. Black Veil Valhazak is weak against dragon element, being an Elder Dragon, and also against fire. Using any weapons that enjoy these elemental bonuses, but particularly those that are good with elements like dual blades or sword and shield, for example, are going to be particularly useful. Having Elder Seal, preferably High Elder Seal, will be really helpful in preventing its powerful finishing move as well. Elder Seal, if you don't know, helps lock all the Elder Dragon's powerful signature move. It ranges from dragon to dragon. You're also able to break the spore sacs on Val by targeting the giant spore sacs on its belly and back. This will really help as it reduces the potency of Val's attacks, helping you get through the battle easier. Other weaknesses include head, as per usual, chest, and wings, so aim for those parts, try and get those breaks, it's going to be super helpful. Perhaps a hammer with 3-part breaker, you say? Oh, I'm with you. The effluvia clouds that are left lingering around are really dangerous, especially if you don't have the effluvia resist. If you've got a fire weapon, you can actually burn these away. I believe dealing any kind of fire damage against these clouds will burn them away, including the fire slinger pods, but I'm kind of going a little bit off memory here, so you just have to let me know if that works. Also, let's not forget, as an Iceborne monster, it's always worth reiterating that it's absolutely crucial that you utilize your clutch claw to tenderize all the parts that you can, especially head and wings if you can, and of course get your beautiful wall bangs for massive chunks of damage and huge opportunities to get off even more damage. Then you've got Velkhana to deal with, who is no cakewalk either. Having 20 or more ice resist is going to be really helpful for mitigating some of the damage, and will make you invulnerable to Ice Blight, which Velkhana's attacks do. You can instead have Resuscitate on you, which cancels out the effect of Ice Blight anyhow. Go for the head, particularly with bonks if you can. I believe off the top of my head, Velkhana's head is very weak to blunt damage, so you're going to be able to crack off some good hits and build a lot of KO damage on her. Velkhana is weak to fire, and of course Dragon Element is going to be useful, particularly with High Elder Dragon Seal, which will help take her out of her ice armor form that she goes into, where she's more aggressive and deals some additional more powerful attacks. You can also use the dragon pods that will come off Velkhana. You don't have to necessarily bring a High Elder Seal weapon yourself. And once more, as with all Iceborne monsters, utilize your clutch claw wisely, son. Fire Velkhana off into the wall for a juicy wall bang, and do your very best to tenderize all the parts that you can, so you can maximize your damage opportunities. Once you're done, you'll be rewarded with a sealed dragon cloth, and hopefully the other parts that you'll need as well, so that you can craft this fantastic sealed dragon cloth alpha plus head armor. Rarity 12, big dragon resist, 2 level 4 decoration slots, and unbelievably anime, top tier fashion. I mean, goodness me, how have I lived within the new world without this head armor? It's a travesty. Wolf Out of Hell is a 6-star MR24 quest against the Stygian Zinogre, usually only accessible via the Guiding Lands. The reason we're doing this is we're after the monster parts to craft some of its awesome gear. Stygian Zinogre is a variant of the regular Zinogre which focuses on dragon elemental rather than its usual thunder. Sort of like the Ebony Odogaron to the regular Odogaron. So if you are going to take any elemental resistance, you're going to want to take dragon elemental resistance, as being inflicted with Dragon Blight will render all of your elemental damage and status effect build-up null and void like my soul. During its charged up state, it's very vulnerable to thunder elemental, so do bring thunder elemental weapons along. That's going to be super useful even if it's not a particularly elemental weapon. You know, like your usual dual blades and things like that. If you can't get your dragon resistance above 20 to negate the Dragon Blight and to help make your damage resistance better, you can take along the Dragon Mantle if you've got that unlocked. Make sure you've got Null Berries to get rid of Dragon Blight if you're not immune to it, unless you're not using any elemental or any status build-up, in which case you're probably not too fussed. As always, make sure you use your Clutch Claw effectively to get wall bangs and to tenderize the monster, so that you can maximize your damage. By getting part breaks on its front legs, you're going to create opportunities to topple the monster, which will give you chances to get loads of damage out with you and your squad. Speaking of, do play in a squad. You don't have to, but multiplayer is super fun. I can just help share the burden. After you're done being blasted with enough dragon energy to become the next Oseiros the Consumed King, you'll be rewarded with your glorious Stygian Zinogre monster parts. You can use these to craft a full armor set and all of the weapons. The beta armor set looks absolutely killer, and 2 pieces boast 3 lots of latent power in the head and coil armor. The gloves have got 2 part breaker on them, and 1 level 4 and 1 level 3 gem slots. The weapons look absolutely killer. They're a recoloring of the original Zinogre weapons, which also look absolutely insanely cool. But like the variant monster itself, these focus on dragon elemental, and even come with average Elder Dragon Seal. The raw damage is nothing to be sniffed at, and they're coming in with solid purple sharpness as well. An additional level 2 gem slot in the weapon is super useful, and they can be ranked up to a rarity 12 version, which is even stronger for raw damage and has a massive amount of purple sharpness, as well as the dragon elemental damage increasing slightly. The Last White Knight is a 6-star MR24 event, facing off against a tempered Frostfang Barriath in order to get Frostfang tickets to craft the weapons and the armor. The monster deals ice damage, so of course coming with 20 or more ice resistance is going to help to reduce the amount of damage that you take, and will also make you invulnerable to Ice Blight. It's very weak to fire, so fire elemental weapons are going to be super helpful here, even if, again, they're not strictly your usual elemental types of weapons. Like Zinogre, it attacks in quick succession and with combos, so be mindful of these attacks that will be blasted out at you, either with its breath attacks or with its actual leaps, and perhaps stay down when you've been knocked over once before, to avoid getting comboed into the next hit. It takes a lot of damage on its head, so focusing your attacks on there can be super helpful. If you're able to break its front arms, that should cause the monster to trip up when it's trying to leap about the place, giving you much more opportunities to deal out a ton of damage. Use your Clutch Claw to tenderize parts when you can, and get off those crucial wall bangs for huge amounts of damage, and windows for your whole team to get in there and smash. And of course, being a tempered Frostfang Barriath, it's going to be even harder. More HP, more damage, the works. After you finish thawing out of a human icicle, you'll be rewarded with these Frostfang tickets. These are rarity 11 weapons which upgrade from the Barriath weapon tree, but can actually be direct crafted, so you don't need to worry about that at all. Pretty good raw damage, massive amounts of white sharpness, 15% affinity, and a tremendous amount of ice elemental damage as well. A great addition to your armory. The armor set looks incredibly sleek, with both the beta gloves and legs having 2 level 4 decoration slots on them. It's also worth noting that with the armor set bonus, you only need 1 piece equipped to get Punishing Draw activated on your build. This adds a stun effect to draw attacks and slightly increases the damage as well. Can be super cool for longsword and greatsword players. This armor's got loads of critical eye and attack boost throughout it, so it's just a really cool armor set. See if you can slot any of the pieces into your build. More options for you. And that is everything we've got in this roundup of events. Do let me know in the comments if you're going to check these events out, or if you've already done them, and which other late game events absolutely deserve to be highlighted. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, you can subscribe for more action RPGs, roguelikes, and MMOs, including loads of Monster Hunter World content and Grand Blue Fantasy Relink. I live stream these with open lobbies over on my Twitch, so do drop a follow if you want to come and join in the hunts. And I've now opened the Discord community, which was previously a closed space, so that we can get all of you involved and chat Monster Hunter World. I would absolutely love to see you in both places. But until next time, I'll see you in the new world.